been a few angry texts about the second half performance. What's your view?
If I had my phone, I'd probably be texting myself. But it was, we took David off, injured, and we go to pieces. Listen, it's not organisation. It's about having a bit of steel about you, about standing up. And they went direct. They started pummeling balls in, and we buckled. You know, Scotty's made a great save. We stopped doing our jobs for 10 minutes. Pathetic from the players. I'm really angry with them for that, for doing what I've done again. Really angry. You know, the first half with a better team. I was really pleased. More of the same second half. Davey comes off quick early, which is a blow to us because we stopped having that pass. And then we did the basics defending wrong, and I don't just mean the back four. You know, I don't mean that at all. We screened wrong. From the throw-in, we had 3 men jumping with call for the first goal for the throw-in, and that just sums us up probably the mad spell. And disappointing. Maybe it is time to give 1 or 2 young kids a game, and you know, I can't wait for this season to end. I really want to just get the next 5 games, get some points. People start playing for a bit of pride, and you know what? The worst thing is, it's like the majority of this season. 90% of the game weren't actually bad, or maybe 75% of the game weren't bad. First half we were excellent. We were competitive. Took a lead. Could have had maybe 1 more, and then stopped playing and stopped doing the basics. And you know, we haven't got enough leaders out there within the group who, you know, their second goal is from our free kick. Our free kick that we put nearly outside the box. We still have a chance to start play again. We pick up the seconds, and then we lose the ball needlessly on the edge of the box. And 1 pass later, the ball's breaking free on goal, and players have not done what they're required to do. Stay with people, defend properly, and it ain't good enough. I understand that. Desperately disappointing 10 minutes, and then we had a go. Zach come on and lively. We almost scored there, but we didn't show enough really to warrant getting back in the game.
And you don't need me to tell you, 31 points now dropped from winning position. What does that say about the team as a group?
Weak-minded, weak. It's the more disappointing thing, Pete, is the closeness of goals, the proximity, the timing of goals. If you lose 1, you don't lose the second one 3 minutes later. But 3 minutes for us, I suppose, ain't bad because of what we've had, at Wimbledon. But that isn't acceptable. And yet I'll take the blame for it. They're my team, I get that. But players have also got to stand up and be counted, and they've let me and they've let the supporters down today.
The thing I think many of us are struggling with is last Saturday, same team, excellent.
Exactly, Pete. Exactly. So you think you're struggling? I work with them every day, and I can see the good things. And then, they didn't even do anything different. They just pumping balls in the box, getting lots of throws. But you've got to stand up and be counted. You've got to stand up and be a man. And if you're a defender, that's first and foremost defending the first ball, defending the second ball. But it's also organising your team. There's no point in the back four being out there and not talking to midfield players and people coming back to help defend. They've got to talk, and we don't do enough of that. We don't do enough of that. It's something we've got to get better at.
You made a change when David Neville came out. You brought Jason Taylor on.
Yeah.
And then you substituted Jason Taylor.
The game had changed. 1-0 up. And I knew kicking up the hill, against the wind, I knew it was going to be a little bit tougher. I wanted to keep Jermaine up top so we could threaten him behind them. Tails be more competitive be as competitive in the middle of the park. We had a little change around of it, but 2-1 down, and that's not what I wanted Tails on the pitch for. To be losing and trying to get back in the game. It's for when we win it. It was for when we were winning, and to make sure that we were competitive and organised. And obviously that didn't happen. So it was a bit unlucky, but you need to do what you need to do. And Zach put a good ball in that we so nearly scored from, and we needed to get another attacker out on the pitch. So it's just one of them things.
You famously played in a team here that was pretty consistent, week in, week out. You knew what you were going to get.
And I've had that for 2 seasons, Pete, to be fair, mate. And this season's been disappointing. We know that. And the good thing is we get a chance to put that right in the summer. We get a chance to, bring 1 or 2, different players in. Bottom line, there'll be 1 or 2 players out there today who won't be here next season. So we just, get back in and work on Monday and go again for the next 5 games. Because, like I said, we were winning 1-0 at half time and arguably the better team. But our defensive frailties, and that's the most galling thing. After last week's Hartlepool, how does that happen? How does that happen? I'll be grey, I'll have no air, but we've got to just keep working and working.
Keep on this consistency point, Mark. What is it about sides, not just Cheltenham, but what is it about sides who are inconsistent? What does that say about the club, the players?
I don't want to get too harsh on people today. I think there's a time and a place for it. We haven't been good enough. Some of the players, and again, I'm responsible for that, but we haven't been as good as we needed to be. That's the bottom line. To throw away the points we have is because the hardest thing to do is to take the lead, is to get that goal. And when you've got it, you should be even more determined, more hungry to make sure that the opposition don't get anything back from it. So it's something we've got to take on the chin and make sure we're better at.
And just sort of finish on a slightly more positive note. Byron Howson took his goal well, 14 goals for the season.
I thought he was brilliant today. I thought he was a real handful. I've been working on him, just thinking about his game more, thinking about because we think we like to try and play. I've been feeling that he's been getting too much involved in the play, in games, and not being the threat that he can be within the box. And been working on him, sort of pulling away on the shoulder of the last the furthest defender on a diag. And it came to fruition with a goal. It's a great finish. But the fact that Mitch executed a decent ball, Billy made a decent run to drag a defender away, and then we were in the right place, and it's a great finish. But it's pleasing when stuff like that happens, that you've been trying to get into people, but it's also equally probably more frustrating that you can't do the basics right and defend properly when we are not in control of the game, but 1-0 up and should be.
I said it was the last question, but I do have to ask you about David Noble. What's the situation with David?
Injured. He came off. I don't know. I didn't ask. Back of his knee. I don't know. We'll have to. Listen. Wes told me he's got to come off. I don't want a diagnosis there and then. I haven't asked them. There's other questions to be asked. We'll have to just see how it is.
And is it as simple as David Noble comes off and Chelsea stop playing?
No, it can't be. No, it can't be. No chance. And if it means, like I say, that 1 or 2 boys who have been knocking on the door get a chance, and that includes, the likes of Zach, the likes of Harry Williams, then we have to look at it. I haven't seen any results. I need to make sure that I'm comfortable with that, but maybe it's time that 1 or 2 get a chance.
Mark, thanks so much.
Cheers, Pete.
Mark, every time this happens again and again, does it make you more inclined to have more of a clear out in the summer? Is it?
Of course it does, John. Yeah. But listen, we'll deal with that when it comes. I don't want to. Players know I'm the angriest man in the world tonight. They know I'm not happy with what they've dished up in the second half, but particularly for a 10-minute spell. But I also know that for the next 5 games we need to stick together and deal with where we are, deal with what we're in, and win some games because some of our football warrants that. But I say you can't just keep talking about it. We've got to make sure that. We do better than we do, and hopefully, Stevie's hopefully back for next week. That makes us a little bit more. I say that, look at us last week. We were excellent defensively. So it's just something that's happened to us this season. And and it can't happen again.
Yeah, but there is potential
There is
for
scope
a
to.
turnaround,
Yeah, of
isn't
course there is. Yeah, and that's where we are. Yeah, of course there is.
Yeah. And talking about leaders, I mean, Steve Elliott's obviously a leader you did well with last week.
Yeah.
Not so well without him today.
Yeah.
But they're not easy to come by, are they? Players
No,
like that?
they're not. But we have to get other ways of having leaders out on a pitch. You know, you can't have. Maybe there's not the ranters and the ravers and the talkers that perhaps we had here when I played here. You know, but you can lead in other ways. And one or two didn't lead and didn't pull people where they wanted them to make life easy for ourselves. We contributed to the first goal that we've contributed massively to that goal. You know, a throw-in. We should be dealing with throw-ins, but the setup from it I've just seen on Craig's screen was we were wrong, and it's about decision making, not only with the ball and in goal scoring opportunities and trying to create stuff. It's about decision making when you're defending, about making the right. That's what makes good defenders. And in a minute, we keep shooting ourselves in the foot from decent winning positions.
Yeah. Cheers, Mark.
All right.
Thank you.